Your morning routine determines your emotional state and identity for the entire day, and you either choose your mindset each morning or the world chooses it for you. When you open your eyes in the morning, you're not just waking up, you're entering a moment of decision that will ripple through every thought, every choice, and every action you take for the next 24 hours. Most people underestimate this moment. They treat the morning like something to get through, not realizing it's the single most powerful leverage point in their entire day. The way you begin shapes who you become. The state you step into becomes the identity you live from. And the truth is, if you don't step into your own identity intentionally, the world will assign you one based on stress, distraction, and everything you've been trying to break free from. The morning is the gateway to your mindset. And mindset is the gateway to your destiny. The challenge is that for so many people, the moment they wake up, they let old habits, old thoughts, and old emotions take over. They grab the phone, scroll through other people's lives, and let external noise hijack their internal world. They wake up and immediately react to problems, messages, deadlines, or worries. It's not that they're weak, it's that they haven't claimed their mornings. They haven't understood that the first moments of the day are the foundation upon which their identity is built. And an identity built in distraction will always lead to a life lived in reaction. You can't create a powerful life from a reactive state. You can only create from a place of intentionality, clarity, and emotional control. That's why your morning routine is not optional. It's essential. It's the ceremony through which you claim your identity before life tries to shape it for you. When you wake up and choose stillness, movement, gratitude, or intention, you are training your brain to follow you instead of pulling you into the same patterns that kept you limited. Your morning becomes the rehearsal for the version of yourself you're determined to embody. Imagine waking up and taking those first few breaths with presence instead of panic. Imagine grounding yourself in who you want to become instead of who you were yesterday. Imagine moving your body not because you should, but because doing so activates the emotional state of strength and momentum. Imagine choosing gratitude, not because everything is perfect, but because gratitude shifts your chemistry instantly into possibility. This is what it means to choose your mindset before the world chooses it for you. It's not about ritual for the sake of ritual. It's about reclaiming your power. The truth is, your brain is most impressionable in the first few minutes after you wake up. Your subconscious is wide open. Your emotional state is malleable. Your identity is influenceable. And what you do in that window either primes you for greatness or prepares you for chaos. If you spend those first minutes hooked to your phone, absorbing negativity, comparing yourself to others, or feeling overwhelmed, you're not just influencing your mood. You're shaping your identity as someone who reacts instead of leads. But if you spend those minutes connecting with your breath, stretching your body, speaking intention into your life, or bringing gratitude into your awareness, you're creating an identity rooted in strength, clarity, and self-leadership. Every morning you're writing a story about who you are. You're telling your nervous system what it should expect from you. You're programming your mind with either certainty or doubt, energy or lethargy, confidence or hesitation. And the story you tell in the morning becomes the story you live throughout the day. If you don't choose that story on purpose, you'll repeat the same one from your past. That's why people get stuck. They wake up the same way, think the same way, feel the same way, and wonder why their life doesn't change. Their morning routine is repeating their history instead of constructing their future. Your morning is the identity you activate. If you activate focus, your day becomes focused. If you activate gratitude, your day becomes lighter and more intentional. If you activate power, your decisions reflect power. If you activate fear or chaos through old habits, your day becomes an extension of that state. This is why I tell people, don't treat your morning casually. Treat it like the architect treats the blueprint, like the athlete treats warm-up, like the warrior treats the beginning of battle. Those first moments matter more than you realize. And let's be honest, you've felt the difference. You've had mornings where you woke up and immediately reacted to problems and the entire day spiraled. You've also had mornings where you took a moment to breathe, stretch, or reflect and everything felt different. You made better decisions. You felt more grounded. You handled challenges with composure. That's not a coincidence. That's state. That's identity. That's the power of choosing your mornings instead of letting your mornings choose you. The morning is also the moment when you align with your purpose. When you wake up and remind yourself of what you're moving toward, you take ownership of your day. When you wake up and reconnect with the reasons you're striving, the reasons you're evolving, the reasons you refuse to stay the same, you shift from surviving to leading. Purpose gives direction. Direction gives momentum. Momentum gives meaning. But none of this happens automatically. It happens because you choose it before anything else has a chance to interfere. And this is where identity comes in again. Because your morning routine is not about checking off tasks. It's about embodying a certain type of person. A person who is intentional. A person who leads their life instead of being pulled by their environment. A person who doesn't wait for motivation but creates it through action. A person who practices discipline not because it's easy, but because they know discipline is the foundation of freedom. Your morning routine is the training ground for this identity. Each day you practice it, you reinforce a different standard. And standards are what separate those who dream from those who execute. The world will always try to claim your attention. There will always be messages, problems, deadlines, and distractions waiting for you the moment you wake up. But if you claim your morning first, you reclaim mastery over your life. You send a message to your mind, to your emotions, to your body that you are in command. You set the tone. You set the pace. You set the energy. And once you step into the world from a foundation of strength and clarity, you move differently. You think differently. You respond differently. You attract differently. You begin to live from a higher frequency, a higher identity, a higher standard. And this is the secret. The morning builds momentum. ND momentum builds identity. When you string together a week of intentional mornings, you feel stronger. When you string together a month, you feel unstoppable. When you string together a year, you become someone others look to for leadership, certainty, inspiration. You become the person who doesn't crumble under pressure, but transforms because of it. You become the person who doesn't drift through life, but drives it. You become someone you're proud of. And all of it begins the moment you wake up. You deserve to start each day in a state that supports your greatness, not your limitations. You deserve to begin with intention, not distraction. You deserve to build your identity on your terms, not under the influence of others. And the morning is your daily opportunity to do exactly that. When you own your morning, you own your mindset. And when you own your mindset, you own your destiny.